Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamastu. Let us thank Bhagwan heartily, soulfully, for this great opportunity to be able to gather here the powerful shrine of Bhagwan and to sing his powerful name. We have offered every nama, even as a flower, that we would offer at his feet. And before submitting today's prayers at his feet, let us remember that Bhagwan has given this precious nama, very, very precious, to us for no hard tapas of us. In fact, all that grace, all that shakti that he attained with the hard tapas, he is giving us just for the asking, which is no small grace. Many people come here because they've been afflicted with something or the other, and they want some immediate relief. They crave for a gesture from Bhagwan so that there would be immediate relief. But grace does not work that way. Grace demands that you work to deserve it. This is what I have seen with Bhagwan, with any great Mahatma. Except in exceptional cases, the grace demands that you work towards it. That is why the Nama is given. If a great master simply raises his hand and things happen to us immediately, none of us would ever work to attain this grace. Every time we would run to a great soul and expect this to happen without our much participation in it. I remember a particular incident from the life of Swami Nityananda of Ganeshpuri, a very unpredictable master like our Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. A great devotee of his, a lady, her husband had a heart attack and passed away. She just could not take it. She rushed to the ashram of Swami Nityananda of Ganeshpuri with the dead body of her husband. And here, Swami was becoming very restless in his room. Without allowing her to come inside, he had given instructions to some people at the gate itself to take the body straight to a tank nearby. He said that she should dip the body in the water and take it out. And she did that, and the husband came alive. She was very, very happy that Swami did this to her. But Swami would not allow her to come inside. He said, let her go. She went back. They had 2 young children, very young children, and the whole family depended upon his earning, the husband's earning. So there was a revival. So the family was happy, and this went on for some time. After that, again he had a heart attack, and this time also he passed away. And the lady thought, okay, I would rush him to the ashram. And she immediately took the body, went straight to the ashram. But this time, Swami Nityananda of Ganeshpuri had collected many stones, and he would not allow the car to come anywhere near the ashram gate. At least previously he said she should go back at the gate itself and not to come inside, but this time he would not allow her to come anywhere near the ashram. Even when the car neared a little distance away from the ashram, he began to throw stones. The stones came and hit the car, so much so they could not proceed any further. And this time Swami Nityananda said she had to go back and arrange for the funeral rites. No question of survival again. It sounds very harsh on the part of the great master. It's very difficult to understand the subtleties of grace. Then sometime after, one of the devotees, close devotees of Swami Nityananda of Ganeshpuri, asked Bhagwan Nityananda why he would do such a thing. Didn't he revive the life before? But this time what happened was just the opposite. He would not even allow the car anywhere near the ashram. Swami Nityananda said, at the time the children were very young, there was some need for the revival. Now, this time, there was no need. Like Bhagwan used to say, he said, God did not want it. God did not will it. So he did not encourage her with a hope to near the ashram. So you see, grace does not work the way we expect. If everything happens by mere raise of the hand, why would the great masters who could manifest very expensive, costly things build hospitals? Why should they bring doctors with expertise, specialized? And they build such huge hospitals. So there is a way the grace works, and it expects people to work towards this grace. And that is why Bhagwan gave us his precious name. He said, keep chanting, chanting and chanting and chanting the name. The name is a dynamite. It releases such beautiful and powerful energy which can get the work done. But then you have to chant it. You have to work upon it. And that is why in the ashram, when people come with great problems, we give them notebooks and we say, you just keep on chanting and writing and chanting and writing for one prayer. Make it very clear that it's only for that prayer that you are chanting. And at some nama, the work gets done. The grace flows. And the grace gets it done. But till then, you have to work so that we begin to chant the name of God and get closer to Him. We should also get transformed. There should be both inner and outer transformations. So it's a very important part of grace that we do sadhana. Sadhana is just chanting the name as much as we can, vigorously and rigorously, until the work is done. And then it helps. Some 2 or 3 days back, our ashram, Ramesh, a devotee of Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, who chants his name all the time, who relies upon the name for help, guidance and protection. His wife had come, Chitra, and she reminded me of an incident that happened in 2015, in the month of June. Life brings its own joys and sorrows as per the will of God, as per the preordained plan. If there is to be a change of course of events, only grace can do it. And it's left to grace completely. We cannot dictate to grace. Once Shri Ramesh and his wife Chitra, they wanted to come to the ashram to do Pada Pooja. It was in 2015, the month of June. And just when they were planning to start, Shri Ramesh had an attack of the bowel. The bowel had to be cleared very often. He had diarrhoea. It started unexpectedly. So they did not want to stop the program. They thought, by Bhagwan's grace, it would be all right. Despite the warning, they started. They took a bus all the way. The stomach seemed to be quiet for some time, but unfortunately, when the bus was coming near a place near Tiruvannamalai, I think it's around Chenji, he had another attack and he had to clear his bowel. He didn't know what to do. It was getting very, very difficult. He was afraid he would disgrace himself in the bus. So he immediately stopped the conductor and said, "Look, I have to get down. Please stop it." He instructed his wife to go ahead to the ashram and that he would take the next bus and come. So he was rushing away. His wife continued. He soon found a place full of trees. It looked like a forest. He was happy that he could find a secluded place. After the clearance, he needed water to wash himself. So he began to look for it. And soon he found a well, and there was much water in the well. He could see it from outside. He was very happy that he could find it at all. And when he came near, he found there was no dike there was no raised structure around it. Instead, it was loaded with gunny bags. They were probably filled with the soil, the earth or something, but they were kept around. He found one over the other, all round the well. He thought he could just climb on them and reach out for the water. But as soon as he stepped on one of the gunny bags, it gave in. With the result, he fell down into the well. And to his horror, he found the well water was not clean at all, and there were snakes and other creatures. And what was more, it was very deep. He did not know swimming, and soon he found himself getting drowned. He went to the depths, and immediately there was a push. He came up. He started to shout, "Yogi Ram, Yogi Ram, Yogi Ram." He thought he would get help if he shouted. He shouted at the top of his voice. He screamed, "Yogi Ram," but there was no response from any place around. And soon he was drowning once again. Again there was a push up. Nature gives us such warnings once or twice. So he was pushed up again. When he surfaced, he shouted again, "Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ram, Yogi." He said he did not even complete the name. He simply said Yogi Ram. And again there was no response at all. There was no sign of anybody coming up. And then again he was going down. He was desperate. He thought it would all be over soon, and that was the end of it all. And again he thought of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Again he tried to shout Yogi Ram, and just then he saw something white. Some form in white near the wall of the well. Somehow he pushed himself, he managed to reach out, and he found it was a handle, a handhold, a handle. Immediately he reached out for it. He held it. Now it gave him some strength. But to his horror again, he found two snakes following him. And they were going round and round. He was horrified. He was in terror. And all that he had was only this hold, this handle. And somehow he pushed himself up. And suddenly he found one of the snakes dying. How did he know? Soon the body began to float. The other one was still moving in water. As soon as he saw it, he found a new strength in his body. He was still chanting Yogi Ram, Yogi Ram. He was shouting Yogi Ram. He found this new strength in his body, and somehow this time he was able to climb and was out with the little strength he had. He was still trembling a lot, and the water was dripping from all over, and he somehow staggered his way to some distance when he spotted a man with a bike. And the man, as soon as he saw Ramesh, he knew the condition he was in. Immediately rushed him to the nearest place. Ramesh said he would reach, just put me in a bus, that'll do. So the man put him in a bus. And now he was constantly chanting Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Picked up strength enough and made his way to the ashram. When he entered, I happened to be near the shrine, the Samadhi Shrine. That morning, sometime before that, I had a vision, something like a vision. There was a scene in front of me. I saw a soul struggling for life, drowning, getting drowned in water, and was struggling for life. And I saw two snakes moving around. Suddenly the thought came to me, if one of them died, he would survive. And then the vision disappeared. That was all I had. The thought, one of them should die, and then this soul would survive. Now I was standing near the Samadhi. When Ramesh entered Pradhananda, he rushed straight to the Murti of Bhagwan. And the next minute I saw him holding on to the feet of the Murti and crying his heart out. He cried and cried and cried, tears streaming down. He was sobbing, and then when this burst was over, he slowly came round to the place where I was standing. His wife Chitra knew nothing about it, what he went through. As soon as he saw me, he came near and started to cry again. Amidst the sobs, he somehow managed to give me the details of what he went through, the hell, the terror, the horror. And that's when I recalled all that I saw. And I found the thought that came to me really happened, that one of the snakes died and he survived. And then I knew it is Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Though he did not even complete the name, all that he said, all that he screamed was Yogi Ram. And that the grace arranged everything that followed. It filled him with a new strength. He was able to hold on to the handle, and the grace arranged for the snake to die. And then again he found himself filled with life and strength, and how he came up, how he was helped by a man on the bike, and how he reached the ashram safely. Mysterious are the ways of God. How a certain grace would flow, how it would arrange things in the circumstances for the relief from a suffering for the devotee. Very difficult to understand, but often it doesn't happen the way we expect. The master raising his hand and then the miracles happening. It is struggle, terror, and despite all that, shouting the name. Now why would this be? Somebody asked Ramana Maharshi, why is that? The great masters would not give new life to the dead bodies. After all, the devotees were very devoted. And why couldn't the masters help Ramana Maharshi said, you go through the history, with the exception of Markandeya, how many people have been given a new lease on life? It doesn't happen that way. So, our expectation that we should rush to some great master and by their blessings, some great miracle would happen. The miracle does happen, but it takes time. It happens gradually, and sometimes not surviving it is also grace. We do not know what is involved in all these matters, but certainly one has to work towards this grace, especially some extraordinary grace. As I said before, if the great masters can do this miracle all the time to all the devotees who pass away, why would they build hospitals? Maybe their mere touch, one look from them, one touch from them would heal. Yet, we see many, many devotees getting admitted in the same hospitals built by those great masters. And they have to go through the treatment. Our Bhagwan has promised that like Lord Shiva, yesterday we saw how Lord Shiva wore the poisonous snakes as decorative ornaments, how he drank the poison and left the ambrosia for the devotees. Our Bhagwan said, as long as you work for this beggar, my Father will see to it that you are healthy and you have a long life. My Father would convert all the difficult situations in life for the devotees into great blessings. We saw it yesterday. Our Bhagwan has added another promise. In the last minute of our life, if we call out Yogi Ramsuratkumar, he would come in person, sit by the side of the devotee and take him by hand. What a promise. So let us remember all the assurances given by the great masters. Let us also remember that we have to work towards it. We have to keep chanting the name. Take up any prayer that you think should give you freedom from suffering, and you have to keep on chanting the name for that prayer alone. This chanting is very, very important. It is required on our part. It is our participation which will invite grace, which gets it done. So the grace would descend upon us in any way. Very difficult to fix it. So we shall pray, we shall submit our prayers today at the holy feet of Bhagwan. We know what the world is going through, the terror again, the terror in the heart of people, the panic. Even the word corona, this corona frightens people no end. Only Bhagwan can do something about it. As the cosmic controller, it is he who brought out this situation. It's because the world has invited it in some way or the other. And only he can give us relief from suffering. Bhagwan, we beg you again and again for your immediate divine intervention to free the entire humanity from the clutches of this dreadful virus and bring normalcy to the world, every country in the world. Please remove this panic from the hearts of people, the fear, because the fear does more harm than the disease. And Bhagwan, please stop the spread of the diseases and enter the appropriate medicine so that it would work. And please protect all those brave soldiers who are laboring for the sake of the others in the field. And we seek your special blessings for a boost to the economy, your support for all the steps taken towards its improvement. Above all, we beg you again and again for constant remembrance of your powerful name, knowing that it's very important that we do this sadhana. Because only this, the chanting the name, invokes grace. And let's go about our everyday life as good instruments in your hands. And let's do it with gratitude, a heart filled with gratitude for all the blessings we have already had. That we should be able to see only grace in every happening of life. But this is possible only by your grace again. So there is grace in the beginning, grace in the middle, and grace in the end. It is grace all through. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.